Good evening, everyone. We'll call to order the regular meeting of the City Council of the City of East Ridge, November 12th, 2020, 6 p.m. For those in attendance at this meeting, the City of East Ridge is following COVID-19 recommendations for seating and social distancing for each person. Each person shall have at least 2 seats separating them from each other, as well as empty rows. You must sit in an empty seat with no sign attached to it. Those who cannot abide by these requirements may be asked to leave. As you can see, we have installed partitions between each of the persons on the dais to make up for the lack of social distancing. Masks are not needed while we're seated, but must be worn when we're not in a respective seat. Also, due to the aforementioned reason, please do not approach the dais before or after the meeting. Please leave the exit when the meeting ends. Thank you. I appreciate you being here. At this time, I'll ask David Top, principal of Elroy Christian Academy, if you'll come forward and give us an invocation and lead us in our pledge. If everyone will stand.
Dear gracious Heavenly Father, you are an awesome God, and we're so very thankful to be a part of such a great country, a great state, and a great city. Lord, I pray that you would bless our president, President Trump, bless our governor, bless our mayor here of East Ridge, Mr. Williams. Lord, I just ask that you would guide and direct them, give them peace, give them discernment as they govern to the best of their ability. And also, Lord, as they are surrounded by advisors and counsels, be with them as well. Lord, we thank you so much that they are willing to serve in this capacity. And so we join with them to make our society a better place to be. Lord, most of all, we want to thank you for the gift of your Son, Jesus Christ, who chose to die on the cross for us because he likes us and he wants us to spend eternity with him in heaven. We pray these things in Jesus' precious, holy, and powerful name. Amen. Join me in the pledge. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you, sir. Roll call, Ms. Middleton.
Mayor Williams,
Here.
Vice Mayor Helton. Here. Councilmember Cagle.
Here.
Councilmember Chauncey.
Here.
Councilmember Witt.
Here.
City Manager Dorsey.
Here.
City Attorney Litchford.
Here. Okay. We want to note that Councilmember Witt is remote. Okay. Okay.
This meeting is being conducted in accordance with the Governor Lee's executive orders, which have been extended in connection with the pandemic and the state of emergency declared as a result of the COVID-19 pandemic. So this meeting is partially it's a public meeting, but it is also being attended virtually by one of the council members, Councilmember Witt. And so for that reason, we would ask that since this body has also made a declaration and observing that the state of emergency exists and that for the health benefit and welfare of the community, that this also will be a meeting that is conducted virtually as well as in the public. We'd ask that the minutes reflect that this body has made that finding in accordance with Governor Lee's executive order.
Thank you, sir. All right. Item 3B, we have a presentation by Hamilton County Register of Deeds Mark Gravitt of the Register's new property fraud alert system. Welcome back, sir. Appreciate you as a previous representative and council member.
Well, thank you. Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you all for allowing me to come and speak to you tonight, especially since I used to be up here and this is where I started my political career. First of all, y'all mind if I take this down? It's fogging up my glasses, and I know I've been accused of speaking loud, but it's kind of difficult with that on. Thank you for allowing me to speak here tonight. You know, first of all, last week we had an election, and we had several excellent candidates here in East Ridge. And I would like to congratulate each and every one of them for putting themselves forward to serve our fair city and to help keep it progressing, moving forward. And I thank all of them. And to Vice Mayor / State Representative Helton and Councilmember Witt at home, congratulations for you too on a hard-fought race. Look forward to working with you all for the next 4 years in your capacity. In the past few years, there's been an increase in what the FBI refers to as paper terrorism, mainly directed towards judges, law enforcement, elected officials, government staff, but however, as well as the general public. Also, there's been an increase in mortgage fraud with property owners having fraudulent deeds and liens recorded in their names or on their properties. Some people don't quite understand how this can happen. But me, as the Hamilton County Register, my office is not a law enforcement agency, nor are we a police office. So as long as the documents meet all Tennessee Code annotated statutory requirements for recordation, I'm bound by law to record those documents. And if those documents are fraudulent, the only thing I can do is go ahead and record them and then contact the DA's office that it's occurred. And believe it or not, I've had to do that twice in the 2 years since I've been in office. And you can Google this. In May of 2018, 5 people in Knoxville were convicted of more than 200 counts of forgery and filing fraudulent liens totaling $137 million. A few months ago, I was watching TV at home, and I saw a commercial pop up for a private service that you have to pay for, having to do with real estate titles. I don't want to mention the name of the company. I don't want to view that as an endorsement of their product. But it led me to think, okay, this private company is getting their information from my office and the other 94 registers across the state of Tennessee to provide this pay for service program. So the next day I asked my chief deputy, and I got with our IT manager, and I said, can we develop our own in-house program for the citizens of Hamilton County? After several months of, they both said yes, they thought it was feasible. After many months of writing the program and then testing the program, I presented it to the Hamilton County Commission last month. And it has been a very successful campaign. My predecessor, Vince Dean, his chief deputy, called me, I think it was Monday, and said, Mark, congratulations. And I said, for what? Some of you may know him. His name's Brad Tucker. And I said, why, Brad? And he said, I just got a notification that someone had recorded a deed of trust in my name on my house. And I said, okay. He said, I refinanced it. And he said, so it's working accurately. So that's good. The way this program works, it's an opt-in system. Don't misunderstand that. You are not automatically enrolled. You have to go to the registrar's website and sign up for it. If you have multiple properties, you have to enter in each one of those multiple properties. You can't combo all of your real estate in one enrollment. You can enter in your personal name, your spouse's name, your business name, as well as the address. If any of those documents come through my office in your name, the program will pop, and in about 10 seconds, you'll receive an email notification that a document has been filed in my office. And then you yourself, as the property owner or individual, can move forward with contacting the appropriate law authorities. So that's the system. The best part of this program is it costs you absolutely zero. It doesn't cost you anything as the individual or property owner. It's a free system that the Hamilton County Register of Deeds office is happy to provide the citizens of Hamilton County. And with that, I will answer. If any of you have any other questions about anything else that's contained in this little pamphlet, I'll be happy to answer them.
I have a question.
Yes.
So if you go in and you fill out your name and your address and your information, is there verification that you are who you say you are attached to
That's a
that
good
piece of
que-
property? In
that's
other
a-
words, could I go put something on Councilmember Chauncey's and get notified when something happens with his address?
He will be notified, yes.
You will be
If
notified.
you, if you, as Brian Williams, go in and enter in, Councilmember Chauncey's address, okay, he'll be notified that someone has entered something in for his address.
Right.
And that's a good, that's a good question also, because after you register for the system, you'll receive an email notification saying that, hey, you have registered for this program. Here in the next few months, we will be expanding the program to also send text messages, and that's in the works as well. There's a prompt that'll ask you for your telephone number, a drop down that you can go ahead and enter in your phone number, and whenever we do get the text messaging capability in the system, you'll automatically be in there as long as you enter in your program.
Awesome. Any questions, council?
Yeah, I got a question. In that same scenario that the mayor just mentioned, if he did that, you said I would be notified. Would it be via mail?
Email,
Okay,
about 10 seconds after he does it.
but he would have to know my email though, if, when he went and entered that information.
Yeah, well, if he went into the system and entered in his name
Yeah.
with your address, okay, you both will receive a notification because it's popped on his name, popped on your address.
Okay.
As long as you're entered into the system before he does it.
Mm,
Did I make that too confusing?
Well, no, but I guess in a situation where he went and entered my information.
Mhm.
So,
And you haven't.
but he put a different email and didn't have my email. Then you said I would be notified, but
As long as you are registered prior to him doing
Okay.
that.
so it's a good idea just to get registered
Yes.
in case
Kind of
someone
like
did.
the USPS notification.
Yeah.
You should put everyone should go and actually enroll in that. So someone else is not getting notification of what mail you receive in your mailbox.
And, you know, like I was explaining earlier, if you've got a very common name like, you know, Scott Brown, I know 3 Scott Browns here in Hamilton County. If you wind up getting notifications and say one of them is a real estate investor who's buying up a lot of real estate, but it's not you, you can go in there, you can change the parameters, and you can also opt out of the system totally if you want to.
Okay.
If Mr. Mayor, Mr. Dorsey, if y'all don't mind, would y'all allow me to leave this on the information
Sure.
desk outside? And
Yes, sir.
just shoot me an email, give me a call if you need more, and I'll be happy to send some
Okay.
more out here to you. Thank you.
Thank you very much,
Thank
sir.
y'all for allowing me to do the presentation.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Yes, great service. Everyone needs to get signed up. All right, we will move to item C, presentation to the Needy Child Fund from the East Ridge Police Department for No Shave November. Mr. Fallon?
Mayor and council, this is now the 3rd November in a row where we've done our No Shave November. What we do is we allow officers to grow a beard, which is normally not in policy. And in order to do that, they make a $25 donation to the East Ridge Needy Child Fund. That's what our November charity is. So this year we are here to present the individual checks to the representatives from the Child Fund in the amount of $640. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. All right. Next, we're going to have a presentation for Jeffrey Stubblefield, the winner of the State of Tennessee Summer TriStar Reads competition for the elementary school division. If Jeffrey will come forward and his family. Council, would you like to come down? If you'll wear your mask.
Mayor, I'm gonna stay up here.
Jeffrey, this is a certificate of achievement. So here. This says, congratulations to Jeffrey Stubblefield for winning the state Tennessee Summer TriStar Reads competition for the elementary school division. Jeffrey read more than 39,000 minutes this summer to win this competition. An amazing accomplishment for a young man of his age of 6. Jeffrey also will receive a $1,000 award for his TriStar 529 College Fund. The East Ridge City Council and the citizens of East Ridge are very proud of your great achievement. Thank you, sir. Thank you very much. Thank you, guys. Did you get a picture? Okay. We're very excited to see what he's going to do in the future. He's got a bright future. Thank you very much. Yes. So yesterday was Veterans Day, day that we remember our veterans. We also should remember all our veterans every day. So we have a very special proclamation we'd like to do to Curtis Rebels. If you'd like to come forward, or we can come over there, whatever you're comfortable with. And I believe Representative Helton dropped by yesterday and presented something at the state level as well. So, Mr. Rebels, this is a proclamation from the city of East Ridge. I'll read this to you. Whereas Curtis Rebels has been a resident of the city of East Ridge since 1970, and whereas Mr. Rebels is 94 years old and he and his wife Betsy raised their family in East Ridge, and whereas Mr. Rebels is a veteran of World War II who served in the United States Army, whereas Mr. Rebels also served in the Korean War in the United States Air Force. Whereas Mr. Rebels is a member of the greatest generation who came together to sacrifice what they could to make the world a better place and help unite this country in the face of evil. Now, therefore, I, Brian Williams, Mayor of the City of East Ridge, Tennessee, do hereby proclaim November the 12th, 2020 as Curtis Rebels Day in the City of East Ridge, and encourage all citizens to recognize the sacrifices he and others of this great generation made for all generations to come. Very welcome, sir. No words. Okay, you think. Thank you again, sir, for all your service to our country. All right. We'll move to item 4, consent agenda. I assume everyone's had an opportunity to read the minutes of the October 22nd, 2020 council meeting and the September 2020 financial report. I'll entertain a motion for a consent agenda.
Make a motion to approve the consent agenda.
Second.
We have a motion by Councilmember Chauncey and a second by Vice Mayor Helton. Do we have any discussion? I see none. Roll call, Ms. Middleton.
Vice Mayor Helton,
Yes.
Councilmember Cagle,
Yes.
Councilmember Chauncey,
Yes.
Councilmember Witt,
Yes.
Mayor Williams.
Yes. We'll move to item 5, communications from citizens. This is an opportunity for any citizen or business owner that would like to bring a question or a concern to the council. They will have 5 minutes. We had a sign-in sheet, but I'm not sure if we had it out in time. So is there anyone signed up? Okay. And then we'll take some from the audience. All right, the first one we have is Robbie Burgess, is that correct? 6712 Jordan Run, East Ridge, Tennessee. If you'll come forward, if you will also give us your name and address for the record. And you may need to move that mic around a little bit. I pulled it over to the side.
I'm Robbie Burgess, a citizen of East Ridge, obviously. I live at 6712 Jordan Run Road. Mind if I hand some handouts to the council members, or is that allowed?
Yeah,
I wouldn't recommend.
yeah, probably. If you'd like to leave those, we could pick those up.
I'm here today concerning recent development at Camp Jordan Recreational Park. I've actually got a lot of questions before I even get into the concerns. Okay. So the reason I'm here, it appears that I guess soccer fields are being added to the rec park in a quantity of maybe 4. I don't know. Can everybody hear me? Okay. I'll try to do better. The topic is additional 4 soccer fields that are being added to the park. And so that's the concern of, I'm not representing that subdivision, but there's 45 residents on that street in that subdivision. And I think the vast majority of them are concerned with the impact of that development will have on our subdivision. So, so that's why I'm here. I guess some of my opening questions, at this time, if you could look at the presentation, the area in question is north of the soccer stadium, and adjacent to that, across there's a, I guess you'd call it a dry ditch or creek behind the other soccer fields. And that area is basically a floodplain. So there's a lot of concern of the development that's going on there, how it will impact the residents, the probably 20 plus residents on the lower part of that particular area, because that's already it's a floodplain anyway, just common knowledge. But I guess my first question is, who owns that property in that area? Is that a question for the city manager or for the mayor? I'm not sure.
I can answer the question. City of East Ridge owns that property, but this is citizens' comments. It's not really a public hearing. So however the mayor wants to proceed here, I'll defer to him.
Yeah, let's, if you don't mind, let's get all your questions in.
Okay.
And then we'll respond. If we don't respond in this meeting, like I said, it is citizens communications. We will definitely reach out to you and provide you an update, and we can do it as well in the next council meeting.
I would like a special meeting, to be honest with you, because I think there's going to be this much feedback on
Okay.
this particular topic, Mayor. That's my first question. Who owns that land?
Okay.
My next question is, who or what committee makes the decisions to make changes to that recreational park? What committee, what forum, what venue, what communication vehicle? That's my next question. That was actually 2 questions. So are any of these questions going to get answered tonight, or are they just going to be recorded?
Let me see if we have others that have questions concerning the
Okay.
same thing, and then we can
Thank you.
see about addressing it.
Thank you. And the next question is, who has the plan, or what is the scope of the project or the development that's going on right now at Camp Jordan Recreational Park regarding those soccer fields or any other changes? How the citizens would, how would we even know? How many fields are being added? I'm speculating that it's 4. I have no idea how many it is. Will there be light poles for those fields or not? Are they practice fields, or are they fields going to be used almost around the clock? Will there be additional parking? And what's the plan for the city to prevent further flooding and reduce the risk of flooding for those residents, or the residents in the whole area? The next question is kind of in the scope of the project, but what agreements were made in this area in question? Scope of the project. And when was the public notified of these changes in this particular project? Next question, the financial justification to add said area, soccer fields, whatever the scope of the project is. And was there a return on investment study done for this particular addition? Now I'm going to get into the concerns. So flooding, you've heard flooding is a concern. Traffic safety, I'm going safety first here. So flooding, the safety of the residents that live in that area. And then safety again with traffic issues that this will bring to that area. And then property safety. I started with safety because that's the most important one, but the next big important one is our property value loss. There's 45 homes in that area. There's people that's lived there for 30 plus years. Tax-paying citizens, long-term tax-paying citizens, not transients, permanent residents. And it's probably one of a handful of developments in the city of East Ridge that have property home values $200,000 to $400,000 homes. Okay. So we feel, or I feel, I don't want to speak for everyone, the addition of those soccer fields will bring down property values. So it's costing me money. You've got some people, lifelong citizens, retired, plan to stay there retired, and you're taking money away from them. Their personal investment. What are the 2 biggest investments you do in your life? Your home and maybe college for your children, right? You've cost, folks like me have been there 10 years, maybe tens of thousands or hundreds of thousands of dollars, but people that have been there for 30 years, do the math. And then there's another topic of property nuisance. Light poles being erected, 100-foot light poles, that's light trespassing. It's light pollution, it's light intrusion, and it's glare. Crowd noise that would bring to that area. Player noise, referees, whistles, air horns, the tournaments that would bring in within the edge of our properties. So what you can tell right now from the survey stakes, there'll be 100-foot light poles within 100 feet of our homes. So there's all kinds of safety concerns regarding this particular activity. I'll leave a layout. This is right off East Ridge Parks and Recreation website, right? I've noted on there where the light poles are, look, I have no idea. I'm just speculating where the light poles are going to be located, if they do, if there are going to be light poles or not. And I think any one of you council members would be out here with us if you lived in that neighborhood. You'd have the same concerns. And we, or I, voted for a lot of you on this panel to make decisions, or I'll say better decisions than this, to represent the citizens of this city. That's all I have to say.
All right. Thank you, sir. There's a lot of questions, and I'm going to allow anyone else who would like to come forward. Please come forward, give us your name and your address. That's perfectly fine. You can come up. We'll take turns until we get everyone that would like to communicate with us. You can take it down if you're comfortable with it there. Yes, sir.
Doug, I'm going to interrupt you. Sure. One last thing, sorry. I would like to see a work stoppage until the scope of this project has been at least reviewed with the citizens that have been impacted. That's my last closing comment. Thank you.
Thank you.
Councilman.
My name is Doug Good. I emailed you,
Yes.
Mr. Mayor, and explained to you the situation.
Yes, sir.
I've lived there 32 years. One of the first ones to build in that subdivision.
I'm sorry, to interrupt you. Did you give us your address for the record?
6722 Jordan Run Road.
Thank you, sir.
And we were all promised.
Doug Good.
We were all promised when we built in there by Larry Armour, and I realized none of you people on the council then, that he was going to sell us that piece of property down to the ditch line. Everybody agreed, but one lady, and she was a widow, but the next door neighbor told Larry, who was Chris Williams at the time, he lived there, said he would buy it. And Larry said, fine. He said he would draw the paperwork up. So we were all willing to pay the money. It wasn't that much money. I think it was in the neighborhood of $3,500 per lot. And because he was going to build phase 2 of Jordan Run, which would include that property. And it did for those people. So we tried numerous times to contact Larry. He would never call us back. And then about 2 years later, I think it was 92, because I built in 88. I got word through, at that time, the guy that was over the park was a good friend of mine, Raymond Bird. And Raymond said, now the city owns this. So Larry had sold it to the city. At that time, Fred Pruitt was the mayor. And so we were just, out of luck. And, but our biggest concern is, and we have all mowed that property pretty much. You can ask the guys in the park. We took care of that property and mowed on back there so our kids could enjoy it and our grandkids could enjoy it. But now, and I realize it's your property. I realize that. But I wish you would come back there. I don't know if you have. I asked Andy, and she said that Andy drove through there. She didn't get out and walk behind their houses to literally see how close this is going to be to the backs of our houses. And when you sit out there on your screened-in porch on a Saturday morning enjoying a cup of coffee, it's going to be noisy. And like Robbie said, with whistles and air horns and people hollering for the kids. And I had kids at one time. Now I've got grandkids, but it's just, and the biggest thing is my house is paid for. I'm retired. I've lived in this city for 69 years. Born and raised here. But I guess it's the thing that our property value is.
Yes, sir, you did. I sat right here and watched.
I bet you did. And you probably laughed. I apologize for that. I won't touch it again. But
It's all good. It's working.
Yeah, but that's the biggest thing is our property value. You work for a company all your life. I worked for EPB for 38 years and paid my house off and my kids used to kid us about moving out there where they're at down Georgia way. And I said, you know, my next home's going to be either a nursing home or a funeral home because that's home. East Ridge has always been my home. But, you know, we don't like it, but I realize it. And like Robbie said, I don't believe any of y'all want a soccer field in your backyard either with lights blowing through your windows at night. But and we're worried about a long way to walk from the parking area to that last soccer field back there. So we're worried that people are going to park in our subdivision and they'll just walk between our houses, shortcut to the soccer fields. And they will do that. Any way a person can find a shortcut in anything, you know that'll happen. But that's another worry we got. But like I say, y'all weren't in on the little deal with Larry Armour. I realize that. None of y'all were council members in, and I don't know how old some of you were in 1988. But the point being, he was dishonest with us, and so was Fred Pruitt at the time. Fred was the mayor. And Larry decided to buy it. And the other thing Larry did was he owned that property on the hill up there, top of East Road. And at that time, Larry was going to make phase 3, go on out and go up on that where the apartments are, the Section 8. And he told all the people across the road, I about did again. He told all the people across the road that he would never build anything back there but more houses. That ended up being apartments. And that was during the Fred Pruitt administration. But like I say, we're you know, all we can do is show, you know, tell you our complaints about it. Nothing else we can do. And what we're afraid it's going to do to our property value and the noise level and the lights shining through your window at 9 or 10 o'clock at night when you're in your house trying to watch TV or whatever. It's just so close. And I wish if you hadn't, and maybe you have, I wish that you would literally park on the street and walk down between the houses and just literally see how close that's going to be to our homes. You know, but that's all. My thoughts in my heart. That's all I got. But, you know, like I say, you know, we're not happy about it. And I realize it's not our property. City bought that in 1992. But we were promised the property first. And that's the honest truth.
I understand. I believe you.
And you know, and everybody got the money up to do it. Everybody was going to buy it. And he explained to us that phase 2 was going to be, that property would be included. And he even commented, I don't know why I didn't do that to start with when I developed these lots. And a guy named David Barnes, who did live in East Ridge at that time, he was the architect of the subdivision. And but like I say, that's what happened. And we're just kind of at the mercy of the city, I guess you could say. But I know if the shoe was on the other foot, I don't believe you want that in your backyard. I don't believe you want your house lit up. Would you, Jackie?
No, sir, I wouldn't.
You know, I don't believe you'd like that either. But I don't want to move. I say this is my home. Almost 69 years I've lived in this city. Went to high school here, and my kids went to high school here. That's all I've got.
I understand. I understand. Thank you very much, sir. Do I have anyone else that would like to come forward? Yes, sir. You'll state your name and give us your address for the record, please.
My name is Bill Bethune, 6728 Jordan Run Road, East Ridge. I'm like Doug. I've been here 30 some odd, about 40 some odd years. And I'm retired, wife's retired, and we've paid on our house. Now you've got, if you come behind my house, you come to my house, I'll carry you out there and show you their stake. There's a 5-foot easement from the sewer line. 5 foot past that is where your soccer field begins. And those lights and everything are going to be right in my face. And you forget to turn those lights off at night because they're on down there all night. And I want to reiterate everything they said. It's safety concerns and the noise and the lights, the property value. That's a big deal to us. And I appreciate your time. Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Thank you, Council. I just expect you all to do what's right for your citizens. We voted for you. I'll vote for you again. Not if you don't do right for us. Thank you.
Thank you. Do we have anyone else who'd like to come forward? Yes, sir. Again, if you'll give us your name and your address.
My name is Bobby Hickman, 6750 Jordan Run Road. Been there 8 years. I try to come up with a few ideals, Mayor Williams, on solutions to problems. One thing I heard on the printout that was in my mailbox was about lights. So I would offer to the citizens or suggest to the citizens that they put curtains on their windows that block light. Walmart sells those. Another solution would be for the lights outside is that whoever turns on the lights should also turn them off. So I personally do not know the switches and assemblies in the back that cuts the lights on, but it's a human person that cuts them on, so it should also be a human that cuts them off. I'll personally volunteer to help. I'm not a certified electrician that could do the wiring, but I am an electronic technician that can properly turn something off if notified. But somebody turns it on so somebody can turn it off. But when I see it at 12 o'clock at night, the lights, now I kind of welcome it. I personally like it. You know, it's beautiful. So I personally love Camp Jordan and love being back there. Another thing going on is property tax. So I understand the value may go down in property, but one solution, and this may get everyone's attention, one solution that might help people feel better about their property value going down is decreasing the property tax. So even though it's through the Hamilton County that does the property tax and raises it every 4 years, maybe we deserve a tax break, if you will. So I'm not asking for a senior citizen discount or a veteran discount, but a discount to everyone on the street because of the given situation. One other thing I would mention is when I moved into Jordan Run Road 8 years ago, it was road, not street. So somewhere in the process, somebody put up a sign on my corner, as a matter of fact, that says Jordan Run Street. It's not street. So I'm just simply asking if someone could correct that. I checked into this myself. So in my paperwork, when I bought my house, it says road, not street. And then I checked with the Shalford Road Post Office, and it also says road, not street. So that's just needs to be corrected. It's not street to me. And I had to look at it every day because it says street. But that's all I have for you. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Do we have anyone else? Hello, ma'am. If you'll give us your name and your address for the record.
Kathy Fields, 6726 Jordan Run. And I used to live at 6015 Jordan Run. I was one of the first that, when the subdivision opened, we lived on the hill for 10 years. Found out I was pregnant with the third time, long time ago. So we bought at 6726. And our property, if you go out, I have little grandkids. I love to sit there on the driveway. They play, the trees and everything. But now I'm not going to be able to let them out there. They're 3 and 4 years old. If we're going to have a soccer field here and have other people, and some people don't watch their children. I hate they don't. They're going to be over there on our property because we got swing sets. We got tater tots. We got everything. We got the playground, you know. And that is a concern. And then the lights, the noise, privacy. I mean, altogether, I've been 35 years in that subdivision. And y'all all have nice homes, and y'all all lived there a long time. If you come to my property, 6726, come out here and look, You would not want to live there if you seen what was going to be in your backyard that you could walk 20 feet for. And it's just not right. My husband passed away. It'll be a year next week. I feel safe there. It's the best subdivision. My neighbors are great, but I'm not going to feel safe there. I'm by myself now. If I'm going to have that many people that can walk 20 or 30 feet and be in my house, I mean, it's just not right. And I'd like to know if it's going to be, is it the Red Wolves? Is it just rec soccer? Nobody knows anything about it. And I know all of my neighbors have sent emails in, I think, to the mayor. I know a couple, yeah.
I've received a couple, yes, ma'am.
Yes, yes. So you've already known this is going to come. I guess we should have called and told you where we're coming tonight.
That's perfectly fine.
So we do need answers, and I wish y'all would try to get us some good answers, because we don't want this in our backyards. And if y'all have grandkids, you wouldn't want it in your backyard either. Or if you do, we can make it happen, you know. But I don't think y'all want it in your backyard, and I want y'all to please consider us doing something. I mean, it's just not the right thing to do.
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you so much.
Do we have anyone else? Yes, sir. You give us your name and your address, sir?
My name is John Woodham. I live at 6700 Jordan Run. Now, most of the concerns that I had have already been addressed by all the folks that have been up here. Now, where I live, everybody from my neighbors on my left side own their property all the way to the cul-de-sac on Jordan Run. My house is the first one all the way up to the end of Jordan Road where it meets with East Street. Nobody owns their property. And I think Doug mentioned I addressed that. My big problem is, I mean, I know I'm not the only combat veteran in here, but I suffer from PTSD. I do my best to try to, to control it. And I went 42 years denying I had a problem. And then in 2012, when Sandy Hook occurred, I had a real meltdown. And since then, a lot of noise bothers me, and I'm sorry. So we got soccer fields sitting there in our backyard. I mean, these people are not going to be quiet. I mean, they've already got 8 soccer fields over in the park itself. I mean, is that not enough? And as Doug mentioned, I wish the city of East Ridge would consider selling property between us and South Chickamauga Creek to the residents there. I'm quite sure you could probably make a pretty good bottom off that. But as I said, all the other points I have already been covered. And thank you for your time.
Thank you, sir. Thank you for your service, and you as well. Do we have anyone else who would like to come forward? Unfortunately, we have a time limit of 5 minutes, and I've been gracious. We've went beyond that in several cases, but that's fine. I wanted to hear your concerns and your comments, and I wasn't going to limit anyone. All right, we have, I'm going to look at the city manager. We got a lot of questions, so I don't know that we can address all these at this point in time, but we'll put it in writing. We'll reach out to each and every one of you, and we'll get back to you. Definitely even before the next council meeting, probably next week. Fair enough?
Yes.
Okay. All right, we will move on to communications from council members. Let's go with Councilmember Witt, who is remote. Oh, you're on mute.
I just want to thank everyone that voted for me. And Doug, I did drive down there, but I went in through the backside of Camp Jordan to look at it. And I talked with City Manager Dorsey yesterday, and he showed me some information that I needed. So I'm sure Brian and them will answer your questions next week. That's all I have to say.
Thank you. Councilmember Cagle?
I'd just like to thank whoever's responsible for taking care of the Walgreens there at Bryan Road and Ringo Road doing the asphalt. I've had 3 or 4 people call me there, and I also like to thank the street department for doing the patch job down on Gibson again. And other than that, I understand these citizens' comments, and I hope we can find a resolution.
Thank you, sir. Councilmember Chauncey?
I have nothing, Mayor.
Vice Mayor Hilton?
To all the residents in Jordan Crossing, we want to address your concerns, and I understand. I understand how you feel. I mean, you've lived there a long time, and you want a peaceful neighborhood. So hopefully, we can find a resolution to all this. And I also want to thank everyone who supported me and voted for me and prayed for me during my run for City Council. I am honored to serve. I look forward to the next 4 years. I think the best is yet to come in East Ridge, and let's just keep moving forward. Thank you.
Thank you. Yes, I'll reiterate the fact, yes, we will get, myself and the city manager will go over these questions, and we'll definitely get back in touch with each and every one of you that brought concerns, and we'll discuss the plans, what we can do, if there's any modifications, considerations already mentioned to several of you with it. We're going to take in considerations for noise and light, but we'll get something put together and we'll communicate back with everyone, and we'll try to have a good resolution that everyone can be happy with. Briefly, because we've already went past communications to citizens, very brief. Can you come up front and speak so we can get recorded? And again, it's going to have to be very brief, sir.
Are you aware of the flooding that actually happens back there? What it actually looks like?
I have seen it, yes, sir.
It's over 10 feet deep. So a lot of people don't see that because it comes and goes very quickly within minutes. Okay, and it's very dangerous. I mean, it's current. It's like a river. So, and as you guys know, the Christmas lights 2016, they got flooded out, right? It was 10 or 15 feet. I took Doug's kayak and almost went to I-75 on the flood on the floodwaters. So, just to put it in perspective, I mean, I don't see how, even if you put soccer fields there, they're going to be out of commission several weeks out of the year. Just, that's where your investment's going to lie. Thank you for your time. You guys have a good evening.
All right. So I would also like to say a big thanks to the citizens that took time to come out and vote. We had an historic participation and turnout during this election. Your dedication, standing in long lines and cast your ballots and providing your voice was very inspiring. Thank you to all the candidates that run for city council. I know each candidate personally, and I know they were very passionate concerning the betterment of our city. We appreciate your interest in our city, dedication to make our city better, and your ongoing effort put forth. I know that you will continue to be involved in our community, and we thank you. I also like to congratulate Vice Mayor Helton and Representative Helton and Councilmember Witt for winning their 2 council seats. I'm looking forward to working with you in the continuation and progress here in East Ridge. Yesterday, as we mentioned, as we had the proclamation for Mr. Rebels, it was Veterans Day, and just again want to reiterate that we want to honor our military veterans and thank Mr. Rebels and all our heroes that have provided the service to our country. It's greatly appreciated. And then wanted to congratulate Jeffrey, an amazing young man. He had to leave early for his accomplishment in reading 39,000 minutes. It's truly amazing. This young boy's going places fast. I also want to mention Action Church in East Ridge is presenting their clothes closet and food pantry lunch. It's free and open to the public. It's this Saturday, the 14th, from 12 noon to 3 p.m. With the weather looking nice, they're going to have all the items outdoor in the parking lot. They are taking COVID-19 precautions. Tables and clothing racks will be a minimum 8 foot apart and promote social distancing, and there'll be hand sanitizer and masks, hand sanitizers available and masks are encouraged. Then I wanted to mention the following day on Sunday, the community Thanksgiving outdoor service. It's at 3 p.m. this Sunday at the Red Wolf Stadium, and it's sponsored by the East Ridge Ministerial Association. And like I always like to promote our library. There, the 17th at 10:30, there will be doing a virtual story time on the farm. Next, I would like to, Chief Allen, I'm going to call on you if you'll come up. I think we are, there's a program that's going to be putting in place, a campaign. If you'd like to tell our citizens a little bit about it, please.
Yes, Mayor, Council, thank you. Next Monday, November 16th, starts the statewide Click It or Ticket enforcement campaign. It's in conjunction with all of the agencies around and the Tennessee Highway Safety Office. It's to encourage people to click it or ticket, buckle their seatbelts. It's a fact that seatbelts do save lives. In 2018, the last stats that we have, there were almost 10,000 people killed that were not wearing seatbelts, and well over half of those were at night. So we will be stepping up enforcement for seatbelt violations. It's a half a second thing to put the seatbelt on, and it, like I said, they save lives. So we encourage everybody to wear their seatbelts. If not, they're subject to getting a citation.
Thank you, Chief.
That's all. Thank you.
And lastly, I have very sad and unfortunate, but our Christmas parade has been canceled due to a low number of applications received, presumably due to COVID-19. We as a city thank all our citizens and the people who support our parade, and we'll plan to have another great edition in 2021. I think City Manager will talk a little bit more about that in his section, and that's all for me, so I'll pass it to you, sir.
Thank you, Mayor. I'll start with the Christmas parade since you just mentioned that. As of the deadline Friday, we had 13 applicants, which is not very many. Normally we have for the parade 60 to 65. I'm looking at Amanda back there, participants in a parade. We felt due to the quality of the parade and the standards that East Ridge has for putting on a great Christmas parade event that there just wasn't enough participation to warrant this year. And obviously we also have the COVID-19 issues to deal with as well. So we thought it was just in the best interest to go ahead and cancel it for those reasons, and hopefully have a better and a greater parade when we get back here next year. We'll turn it over to Ms. Diane Qualls, my finance director, to give you a quick debt report that she has to do.
Yes, if
per
you
state law.
recall, we passed a resolution to borrow $1.8 million, and we closed on that note on the 10th. And this is just to notify y'all that we have closed, and this is a 15-year note, and we have an interest rate of 2.54%.
That just needs to be entered into the record, please. Thank you. Last item that I have, one of the things that was on the referendum this last week was liquor stores, package stores. That passed by a large margin within the city of East Ridge. And I've had questions about what are the next steps dealing with the liquor stores, the package stores. The next thing that will happen is that ordinances will be drafted and the council will vote on the procedures, the policies, and the legality that's needed to be put into the ordinance to allow the package stores within East Ridge. That's the next step. Within those ordinance, there'll be some decisions made by the council, specifically if there's a specific number of stores that will be allowed in East Ridge, the size of those stores. There's things of that nature that as we do these ordinances, the mayor and I had to talk about that it's important that the council and when we get to those issues, the council will bring it up to them so they can discuss those and make sure everybody's well informed about where we're planning on going with that. That is the first step. That step takes at least 2 readings of the city council, so you could probably anticipate that being done at the latest, I would assume, by the end of January. We only have 1 meeting this month and 1 meeting in December. So odds are it may be done in the middle of January, but I don't want to commit to that. We'll say hopefully by the end of January, we'll be able to have that part done. The next step would be to take applications depending on how the ordinances are set up to handle the liquor stores. With those applications, whether it's lottery, whether it's by presentations for like requests for qualifications or proposals for them. We're still looking into that. That would be the next step, and that would probably take about a month to do that. After that, after the review, depending on how they are picked, it would then come to the city council to grant these what's called a certificate of compliance for the liquor stores. The package stores have to have a certificate of compliance in order to proceed to the Alcoholic Beverage Commission in Nashville with their applications for their package stores within the city limits of East Ridge. The final thing dealing with this is there's been a rumor going around that liquor licenses cannot be issued till July 1st of 2021. That is incorrect. If you are in a city that currently has package stores that were in existence before 2018, you have to wait till July of 2021. In any city that has authorized package stores after that date, you can do the liquor licenses anytime, which is right, like which could be right now or this spring. So our goal is to have the process done so that applicants would be able to get in front of the Alcoholic Beverage Commission before July 1st, because I anticipate once they open they close that window and let it open back up to everybody, that everyone in the state will be coming in for licenses or changes or things of that nature. So we don't want to have to experience that delay if that happens. So that is what our plan is dealing with liquor stores. And that's all I have. Does anybody have any questions on that?
Council, any questions?
Okay, thank you.
Thank you, sir. All right, we'll move into old business. Item A, public hearing for ordinance number 1138, rezoning of 406 Brogton Street. You want to read
We'll read the ordinance. and
ordinance?
We'll have the public hearing. And
Yes, sir.
this will be a public hearing related to ordinance number 1138, an ordinance of the City Council of the City of East Ridge, Tennessee, to amend the zoning regulations and the zoning map of the City of East Ridge, Tennessee, so as to rezone the property located at 406 Broughton Street, tax map number 157H-E-002 from O1 Office District to R1 Residential District. Mayor and council, there needs to be a correction. The tax map number should read number 157H-E-022. There was this in the caption here. It was typed and taken from what RPA. I would think the applicant got it right. When it came to us, it somehow got changed to 002. It should be 022. So if there's an amendment, we just need to make sure that we reflect the correct property parcel number.
All right, thank you, sir. And this would be the second and final reading on that ordinance, but I will open up this public hearing. I believe, Mr. Howell, are you going to give us a recap, if you would, please, and then we'll have any citizens' input?
Good evening, Mayor and Council, City Manager. Yeah, back in 2011, this property was rezoned. It was zoned R1. The applicant at that time wanted to rezone it to O1. She's now requesting the property be reverted back to R1 because she no longer needs that commercial business on that property. So the Planning Commission approved that rezone October 5th of 2020. And I believe if I could, the last time I was here, Mr. Cagle had a couple of questions for me concerning the district and what properties were there, like as in residential, I think. So I did a little research on that, Mr. Cagle. So to the west of that is all single-family dwellings. Sorry, this keeps coming down. To the south of that is all single-family residential as well. So you had a blanket overlay through GIS. This property is actually zoned O1, but it's single-family residential. This property here, to the north of it, is actually Commercial Plastic Surgery Center, which is correct. And this one is actually zoned O1, blanket overlay once again, but it's actually R1 single family residential. That makes sense to you. I know I didn't clarify
I
that.
drove up
in
by
that-
there and looked at everything.
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Yes, sir. That's all I have.
Thank you, sir.
You're welcome.
All right, as I mentioned, the public hearing is open, so I will entertain anyone who would like to come forward in favor or against this rezoning at this time. You're the property owner, correct? I don't think so, council, do you have any questions? Last call, is there anyone for or against who would like to come forward? I see none. I will close the public hearing and we'll move into the ordinance.
We're going to read it, and I'm going to read it as captioned so that we don't do anything but it does need to be corrected in connection with the motion. Okay, Mayor?
All right.
This is ordinance number 1138, an ordinance of the City Council of the City of East Ridge, Tennessee, to amend the zoning regulations and the zoning map of the City of East Ridge, Tennessee, so as to rezone the property located at 406 Broughton Street, tax map number 157H-E-002, from O1 Office District to R1 Residential District. And again, just a reminder, this caption, as well as the body of the ordinance, needs to be corrected to reflect that the actual tax map number is 157H-E-022. And again, the applicant did not mess that up. It got changed over from before we received it, it got changed over.
Thank you, sir. All right, I will entertain a motion for ordinance number 1138.
Make a motion to approve ordinance 1138.
Second.
And before we
Okay,
head, let's
again,
just a second. Let's any motion. Let's have a motion to approve, or if it's to approve, subject to the correction of the right tax map number.
Yeah, I'll make a motion subject to the correction of the tax map number for resolution 1138.
All right, we have a motion by Councilmember Chauncey and a second by Vice Mayor Helton. Do we have any discussion? I see none. Roll call, Ms. Middleton.
Vice Mayor Hilton, Councilmember Cagle,
Yes.
Councilmember Chauncey,
Yes.
Councilmember Witt,
Yes.
Mayor Williams.
Yes. Ordinance 1138 passed, second final reading. Move to item 9A, resolution number 3094.
A resolution of the City Council of the City of East Ridge, Tennessee, approving bids for the purchase of soccer uniforms for the 2020-2021 indoor soccer season.
Yes, sir.
Thank you, Mayor. The bids for these uniforms were opened on November 5th. We received 9 different bids. The staff recommends awarding Crown USA the soccer form bid based on the current pricing that you see on that next page and the past successful history of getting uniforms ordered and received within the necessary time frame.
Thank you, sir. I'll entertain a motion for resolution number 3094.
I'll make a motion to approve resolution 3094.
All right, we have a motion by Councilmember Witt and a second by Vice Mayor Helton. Do we have any discussion?
I have.
Yes, sir.
It says soccer uniforms. Now we're speaking of just the T-shirt.
Yes, sir.
Yes.
Okay.
Because
And,
we have, the bids are just for the t-shirts, yes, the shirt.
okay. And do we have any idea how many we're going to be ordering?
Not yet, not till we know the amount of registrants.
How many did we order last year?
I don't know. I'll
Over
find out.
2,000.
Over 2,000?
Yes, sir, over 2,000 last
Well,
year.
then, I'd like to change the motion then because they're saying Crown, but I want to go with to make it the 375 because of the extra quarter. That's the reason why I'm asking for 2,000. To make sure we order 2,000 instead of 1,999.
Oh, well, we would order based upon how many people participate. If we only had 1,500 for some reason, then we wouldn't want to order 2,000 uniforms.
Okay.
But you make a good point. We would definitely try to get the best price we could. Yes, sir.
But our motion and second was for Crown, so if we did exceed it to 2,000, we would get the 375.
Right,
For sure.
2,000 plus. Yes, sir. That's a good
Yes.
point by Councilman Cagle.
We good? Because the motion was to use Crown. And
Right.
so,
Yeah.
so if we do exceed the 2,000,
But Crown was cheaper on the 375 too. so.
right. All right, any other discussion? Roll call, Ms. Middleton.
Vice Mayor Helton,
Yes.
Councilmember Cagle,
Yes.
Councilmember Chauncey,
Yes.
Councilmember Witt,
Yes.
Mayor Williams.
Yes. We'll move to item B, resolution number 3095.
A resolution of the City Council of the City of East Ridge, Tennessee, authorizing the City of East Ridge to participate in the Public Entity Partners and Law Enforcement Innovation Center's Police Risk Management Scholarship Program.
Yes, Ms. Powers.
Yes, Mayor and Council, this came across our radar just the other day, actually. And this would allow our officers to go to a 2-day training in Murfreesboro. There's 3 dates right now so far, one in December, one in January, and one in February. We are available to get up to 12 officers. However, because it's so popular, we would probably only be able to get 3 at this time. And if any open up, they said that we could apply for those. Again, this is totally free for our officers. We just have to make sure that they get there and get fed. So, and this also goes towards their
Meaning we
training.
pay for them to get there and get fed. Yes.
Yes. And this also gives them their training hours that they need. If I'm not mistaken, it's either 12 or 14, no, 12 or 14, no, 16 actually, 16 hours of post credit. And that's something that they have to get every year. This just helps them along the way.
Well worth it.
Thank you, ma'am. I'll entertain a motion for resolution number 3095.
Motion to approve resolution number 3095.
Second.
We have a motion by Vice Mayor Helton and a second by Councilmember Chauncey. Do we have any discussion? Roll call, Ms. Middleton.
Vice Mayor Helton,
Yes.
Councilmember Cagle,
Yes.
Councilmember Chauncey,
Yes.
Councilmember Witt,
Yes.
Mayor Williams.
Yes,
Thank you, Mayor and Council.
thank you. Move to item C, resolution number 3096.
A resolution of the City Council of the City of East Ridge, Tennessee, authorizing the advancement of state salary supplement payments for eligible firefighters and police officers.
Yes, sir. This is my understanding. We do, well, I've been here 10 years. We do this every year. We give it to the firemen and the policemen. They get it so they'll, and I'll be honest, they get it so they'll be able to shop after Thanksgiving. And then we are reimbursed by the state in the spring. We'll get the money for the fire and police. They're in service.
Most cities wait until the spring to give it
Mhm.
out, but I know it's been past practice here and customary to help out the fire and police to make sure they get the money so they can go Christmas shopping.
Awesome. I'll entertain a motion for resolution number 3096.
I make a motion to approve resolution 3096.
Second.
That was on.
We have a motion by Councilmember Chauncey and a second by Councilmember Witt. Any discussion? Roll call, Ms. Middleton.
Vice Mayor Helton,
Yes.
Councilmember Cagle,
Yes.
Councilmember Chauncey,
Yes.
Councilmember Witt,
Yes.
Mayor Williams.
Yes. Move to item D, resolution number 3097.
A resolution of the City Council of the City of East Ridge, Tennessee, authorizing the city manager to approve the attached change order requests from Integrated Properties LLC in regard to stormwater improvements on Boyd Street.
Yes, sir.
Thank you, Mayor. I believe Philip Schofield is hiding around the corner there from CTI. He's our engineer, and I was going to read out what I have, but I'm sure he can probably give a lot better description of the issue that we faced out there from a buried storm pipe that we had no idea was there. Imagine that. Could be very, very old, but he'll tell us about it.
Yes, yes, thank you, Mayor and Council. Integrated Properties mobilized on site and started excavating along the shoulder of the road, start preparing the concrete swell to kind of abate some of the drainage issues that we've got there on Boyd Street. And when they excavated down, we ran into an existing storm pipe. It was a series of different kinds of pipe, steel, corrugated metal, concrete, all in bad shape. It was full of debris, but even the surrounding soil, you think about like when you have a underground tank, sometimes we have to remove UST type tanks. You get the soils around them start getting saturated. And so what I've observed looking at that is it appears that bad soil continues on under the roadway, and we run the risk of higher cost if we continue chasing that out into the road and having to rebuild the road, essentially the sub base under the road. Typically you have to take about 3 feet of that soft soil out and basically rebuild the road base. And so we looked at the potential cost overruns of having to rebuild the road base in the lane right next to, really we're trying to fix some drainage on the shoulder, and I think it's close to $75,000 is the estimate we got, and that's still kind of unknown. You could run into some other issues with that soft soil. And so we got with a contractor and kind of value engineered, looked at some other alternatives, and we came up with a solution. And that, I don't know if you got a copy of that letter, but basically the change order request from Integrated is $48,410.20, which is considerably less than kind of what I'm estimating if we have to kind of go out and rebuild part of the road. And what it does, it narrows us down where we're just on the shoulder. We're not going to get out into the road. And it's a combination of putting a trench drain in front of the two properties that are having drainage issues, and that's where some of the pipe is now. We can't reuse the pipe, so and we've talked to them. They're on board with the trench drain idea, and then we would transition from the trench drain. The pipe would tie into that catch basin out near Ringo Road. Any questions?
Thank you, sir. I'll go ahead and entertain questions. We have it.
I have some. For
Yes, sir.
one, are we going to have the galvanized, or are we going to be able to use the steel?
We should be able to use steel fine.
Well, I just seen the added figures here is the reason why I was asking.
Well, it's an option that you can do, but I mean, the steel is used all over the place. So they say steel is cast iron, but
We're going to use the 168.91 instead of the 1859.
Not sure where you're reading that from.
what was that a question?
Back here on the back page, it's add the following lump sum amount if bar grading is required to be galvanized. My question was, are we going to be able to use that 168.91 for the trench drain? Or are we going to have to use the galvanized for the trench drain?
We said we would go with the steel, so we wouldn't be using the galvanized.
Yeah, we're not using
That
the
was
galvanized.
the question I asked you.
Yeah, okay, we're not using the galvanized. I'm not recommending using the galvanized.
Any other questions, sir? Anyone else? I don't see anyone. I will entertain a motion for resolution number 3097.
I make a motion to approve resolution 3097.
A second.
All right, we have a motion by Councilmember Witt and a second by Councilmember Chauncey. Do we have any other discussion? Roll call, Ms. Middleton.
Vice Mayor Helton,
Yes.
Councilmember Cagle,
Well, we need to get the job done, so yes.
Councilmember Chauncey,
Yes.
Councilmember Witt,
Yes.
Mayor Williams.
Yes. Resolution number 397 passed. We'll move to item E. Thank you, sir. Move to item E, discussion of the tentative agenda for the December 10th, 2020 council meeting. On attachment A, we'll have a presentation of the fiscal year 2020 audit.
Yes, I said, depending on how it comes out, we may need to have handcuffs for Ms. Qualls.
Really?
That's a
No.
joke. Okay.
Under old business, we have none, and under new business, we have none. However, I do believe we have 2 sets of board appointments we need to add. Is that correct? So we have beer board and library. We have 2 on beer board and 2 on library. I know we've received some applicants for the beer board, I think 3, unless we've got some today. Is that accurate? Okay. And so then we'll post the library out. It's already posted? Perfect. So we're taking applications for both. Yes, sir.
If I could interject also on this. One thing that wasn't mentioned in when we set all this up earlier, Janet and I made I won't say executive decision, but we try to interpret what we thought we needed to do. When the applications came in for the beer board and library, we're forwarding those to the person that's making that particular appointment to see the slate of them. If for some reason the whole board wants to see what the applications are ahead of time, I guess we could, but we knew that, the way it works here is that basically that particular council member is the one that makes the appointment for that. So we want to make sure that person got the applications that came in. But if for some reason the other ones want them, we can also provide them to you as well.
Can I ask whose appointments are up?
So on the beer board, it is, sorry?
Nothing, I was just.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
On the beer board, it is Councilmember Witt and myself. And on the library board, it is myself and one appointed by council. So there will be one that will be appointed by the council. Is that correct? Correct. But we just posted that recently, and we're notifying everyone now via this council meeting as well. That's all that I have that I know of that we need to add. Is there any other thing we need to add or consider on the agenda for December 10th?
I would like to ask, did the Shrine get in touch with y'all?
Yes, Mr. Cowan
Yeah.
got in touch with me, and I forwarded him on to Chief Allen, and he's working. He hasn't called you yet? Okay. He said he got in touch with me. We discussed it, and I forwarded him on to Chief Allen. He said he knew the chief, and he would get in touch with him.
Okay. Will we need to put that on the next,
That will probably be on there if they decide they want
Okay.
one of the if they want one of the vehicles. Yes, we had to put something on to surplus it. Yes,
So that'll be determined if,
correct.
from the discussion and decision.
Correct.
Or discussion and then
Yes.
our decision. Anything else? All right. Thank you. Thank you for everyone that came. We will adjourn this meeting. Y'all have a good evening.